Hey Scunner, welcome to the family.
Haven't you guys done this joke before? Hey guys, welcome back to Super On Par Reviews. My name's Steve, and today we'll be going over the Neca Pacific Rim Kaiju Scunner. This is the kaiju that you've seen towards the end of the film Pacific Rim, which consisted of him, Raiju, and Slattern fighting Eureka Striker and Gypsy Danger underneath the water. And this was also the kaiju that got stabbed in the head by Gypsy Danger, got boiled by an underwater volcanic geyser, and nuked by Eureka Striker with Slattern. So he had a really rough go of it during the film, but I guess he managed to take out Gypsy Danger's leg, so he got a little bit in there. But overall, I thought it was actually a pretty neat concept for the film, even though he's kind of just a knife head variation, which is pretty much a trend for that film, because pretty much like axe head, knife head, and all the rest are pretty much all the same mold anyways, which also conveys on the figures, which we'll get to in a little bit. But overall, actually, I'm still happy that they put out this guy anyways, because getting these kaiju out of the way lets us get to ones like Otachi, which is officially spoiled, and we're going to finally get one of them. I guess he's coming out towards November. And we're also getting Axehead, which was the Trespasser concept figure, which, I'm still happy they're putting it out though nonetheless, because even though it's not something I'm super excited about, it's a monster nonetheless, so I'm not going to complain. But anyways, enough about that. For the packaging, it's pretty much the exact same we've gotten with all the other Pacific Rim figures for these scales, which he is more of the deluxe larger figures, which I'm really glad that Neca decided to upscale those, because the original knife head was kind of because it didn't really work well with all the other figures, and I'm glad that they ended up going back and retooling them anyways. But pretty much what you get is you get the Pacific Rim logo at the top here. And then down here you just get a concept picture of Scunner here. And nothing on the side. Come around to the back, it just shows some of the other kaijus that they've released, and then it has Axehead here coming soon. And he's also, another thing to point out is he is a category 4 kaiju. So even though he's technically the same as Knifehead, he's actually considered to be more of a threat, so that's always cool. And it's got his little image right here with the radioactive symbol. Yeah, nothing over here. Some random mumbo jumbo. And that's enough about that. Let's get him open up out of his plastic prison. Alright, now that we got Scunner out of the package, getting into his details. Overall, I am in love with this guy's sculpt, and even though he's pretty much just a retool of Trespasser, which I think is kind of funny because some people say that he's more of a Knifehead retool, which Knifehead actually had a little extra parts on him, just like this guy, which bring a Knifehead in for a quick second. Right here you can see that he has an extra little added piece segment here for the plastic here, which when you have Trespasser, there's literally nothing else added to him. And especially the giveaway here too is the neck here, because they're pretty much the exact same neck. It's just a lot of it's being covered up by his little rubber coat that he has. Which, actually, I really love the idea of this rubber coat here, because it doesn't really hinder the movements of his arms, which is really nice. But it also helps to convey his bulkiness, because he's supposed to be a category 4 kaiju, so he's going to be a lot more massive and intimidating than, say, Knifehead, because he's only category 3, so this really helps to convey the largeness that he has. And then getting into his head sculpt, I really love how the way this turned out. Like, I don't even know what this is, but it looks cool. And I really love the hammerhead shape to his head, and especially with the giant bull horns coming off to the side. Like, I think it's a really nice touch, especially with the paint right here. And even like with the detailing done in his mouth, like they did a really nice job with just, it just surprised me how good that tongue looked, which is kind of a weird thing to say. If I can get the lighting in a little bit more. You can see that there's a lot of like red, pinks, and purples going on in there, which I think is really cool. And then also with his teeth here, where he's got like the extra segments going on here. And he's just got a decent amount of detailing going on with him. And especially up here where you got like his portholes up here. And it's just, to be honest, this is probably one of my favorite head sculpts that they've done in a while. Like, I really love the other Pacific Rim kaijus, but his just turned out great. And then, especially, again, getting into the paint here, I really love how they updated the luminescence that's supposed to be going on here, because in the movie, they have where these tribals are, they're glowing. And they use this metallic paint here to really show off the shine here, especially when you got it on a light. Like, bringing back in knife head for a second. Because a knife head, I thought it looked pretty cool, especially with just, even though all it is just yellow paint here. But it still helped to try to give you the illusion that the luminescence is going on. Especially with the mouth on here. But on him, it actually literally shines. Like, you can just literally, like, even on camera, just see the difference going on here. And I just am just in love with the way they did the paint on here. And again, just, even though it's pretty much the same mold as Trespasser again, the only real difference being here with the hands, which is probably my first really major complaint on here, is I like it that it's different, and it kind of gives him the swimming motion, like, because he's mainly underwater anyway, so he's swimming along doing his thing, so it helps to try to represent that. And I really love this gloss black paint out here, like, that looks gnarly. But my only real complaint is it doesn't really look like his fingers can separate, which I know they're not really like posable, so they'd be stationary, but it's just like, I would have maybe liked to see a little bit more definition here, because to me it kind of looks more like a paw more than like an actual like fingers, and it's kind of weird, like especially like underneath you can see it's a little bit more defined here, and so this makes more sense. But just on the top, it's just, it looks really odd to me, especially when you got like knife heads here, which looks amazing in comparison. But other than that, it's pretty much it. And then he's got his little secondary hands here, which are pretty cool. And they also got the gloss black paint here on the nails. And same with the feet, which also turned out really nice. And they even got detailing underneath the feet, which I always really love that. Like, just the attention to the detail on that. And then probably the second complaint I got on this figure is it's the same backpack as Knife Head and Trespasser, but what I would have really, well, not Trespasser, he actually has more of a giant blade backpack, so sorry for that one. But anyways, getting back into the figure, I really would have loved to have seen the gloss black here on the tusk, just like you see on his fingernails here, because it really would have helped to at least show a little more variation and details on here. Because right now it's just more of a kind of like a wood brown color. So it's a little odd, but I don't really hate it all too much. Like, it still looks really nice. And then getting into his tail here, which is just the bendy tail we've been getting with all of them. Which I seen one reviewer when he was talking about this that it kind of turned me off a little bit on this until I actually seen the figures in the store. But his actually had a different variation on the tail color, so it was kind of, it didn't match the rest of the body. Well, mine actually seems like it lines up pretty well, other than it's got a little bit of brown paint down here, which looks a little odd. But again, like, it's kind of cool that the tail's a little different too. Like, it's got all these little prongs coming off of it. So that's actually pretty neat that they changed that a little bit. So overall in the detail department, I think they did a great job on this figure, and it looks like a very nice improvement over the Trespasser and the knife heads. And then getting into his articulation, with his head here, you can open the mouth, it goes up and down. The only thing with mine is it seems kind of loose, so it wiggles a bit, so you can kind of get it doing this little shifty look, like, but it stays in place pretty well. It just don't really want to mess with it all that much. And his head here is on a ball joint, so you can look a little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit side to side, and it also rotates. But I'm not sure. Nope, can't really get all the way around, so that's about it you can get on the head. And for the arms here, they look like they're just on pig joints, I believe. So it can go up and down, forward and back, but you're not going to get a super range of motion. Like, it won't go all around because of the rubber. And then here at the elbows, they got a bend. Nothing too great, but it's there nonetheless. And it also rotates all the way around. And same with his hands, they're on a ball joint, so first go all the way around, got a little bit of bend to them. And then for his waist here, can rotate, pretty much all the way around. Got a little bit of a tummy crunch. His little arms here are also posable. They can move in and out. Pretty much can move, get them things moving whichever way you want, like even if you want to go back here. And then get it set back. And his little hands here on ball joints. So it goes all the way around. Bends up and down. And then for his legs here, go forward. They can go back. And then they can go a little bit of play with them going in and out. It's got a bend at the knee. Also can rotate at the knee. And then his feet are on ball joints, so they got a nice pivot bend, and you can pretty much do whatever you want with the feet. Again, for the tail, just got a little, it's just a bendy tail, so one thing I'd just be a little worried about over time, like this seems like a very thick piece of rubber, so I can't imagine the wear coming out of this very easily. But just from experience with a lot of other figures that have been like this, I'd just be a little wary of over time playing with this a lot because the wire might pop out. But other than that, he's actually got a very nice range of articulation. And overall, I'm actually pretty impressed with the way this guy turned out. And for some comparisons, here's Scunner compared next to Trespasser and Knifehead. And here he is compared next to Battle Damage Gypsy Danger, which now we have a reason for the chainsaw blades. And here he is compared next to Leatherback. And here's Scunner compared next to all the other Jaegers with Crimson Typhoon, Eureka Striker, Coyote Tango, and Cherno Alpha. And here he is compared next to the Godzilla 2014, which makes me really want that 24-inch one just to have a more accurate representation of the scale for these guys. And here he is compared next to Failhead. Overall, Scunner, I'm actually very happy with the way this figure turned out. His sculpt is awesome, and my only real complaint with it, the entire thing, is that his claw seems more like a paw than anything. But his head sculpt is fantastic, so you want some, you lose some. And then his paint, I really love the luminescence on here with the metallic paint. I think it's a very nice improvement over the other figures. And overall, I actually just think this is a nice improvement over them in general. And it really makes me excited for when Otachi's coming out, because if this is any indication, I think that figure is going to be bonkers. But what do you guys think? Are you guys a big fan of Scunner? Did you guys like that underwater fight scene? Or are you guys just not a big fan of clones? Please let us know in the comments. We'll have closer pictures on Facebook if you want to click the link in the description below. And if you like this and want to see more stuff like this, please give us a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.